Hey Sam, how are y'all?
We're good today.
Good. So Chase, I know that we've talked a little bit about how Sam loves superheroes, and we've talked a little bit about how she has a hard time taking off some of her clothes. Sometimes she does it well, sometimes she doesn't.
Yeah.
But particularly, she doesn't do it very well when she's going to the bathroom, right? So we're gonna play a little game today that maybe you can play with Sam at home. That maybe will help it out. Okay?
Perfect.
All right, Sam. So I heard that you have a secret identity. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So we have to use the bathroom today, okay? So we're going to practice on changing into our Superman shirt and clothes so that we can get on the toilet, we can use it, and then we can redress, okay? All right.
Superman!
So,
Yay!
I promise I won't tell anybody of your super identity, but can I see it real quick? Can I see your costume? All right, let's go.
Wow!
Yes, okay. Now, can we see if we can get on our magic toilet so that we can go fight crime? Can we do that? Okay. Can we take our clothes? You gotta dress in your super outfit to do that, right?
Yeah.
All right. Awesome job. Awesome job. So, yep, keep going. What's next? That's right. Awesome. All right, let's get on our toilet. Let's go. We gotta go fight the bad guys. Good job.
Yay, Sam!
Okay. All right, Chase. So now that we've kind of do this, you can do all kinds of different superheroes with Sam. You can make the noises, you can play with her, and as she gets better at it, right, because we got to get faster at changing into our Superman costume, you can use tighter clothes that are a little bit harder to get off, and then looser clothes if she's having a hard time with certain ones, okay? You can do different pants, that way she has a different idea of like the buttons and the zippers, and just with time, we just work into making that a little bit more difficult, okay?
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
Awesome. Okay, Chase, so another thing me and you talked about was that Sam does a great job at washing her hands, but she sometimes doesn't quite finish thoroughly and she gets angsty and gets through.
Yes.
Sam, would you wash your hands for me so I can see what it's like? Can you show me how to wash your hands? Teach me how to do it.
Go, Mr. Merritt.
Okay, cool.
Done.
Sounds good. Okay, this time, I know that you had said that she likes songs and like she really likes the song Baby Shark, is that right?
She loves
Or at least some of her friends do.
Yes.
Alright, well, we're gonna wash our hands to Baby Shark. Now, you know the song, don't you? Okay, so we're gonna play it. We're gonna let you wash your hands to it, okay? I want you to start when it starts and finish when it finishes. Is that okay? Alright, here we go.
I'll try.
Alright, you can do
Baby
this.
sharks.
We'll help you, okay? Ready, and go. You're doing so good. Keep it up.
Yay!
Good. You're doing so good, Sam. Keep it up.
Yeah, Sam! Wow.
Good job.
Good job, Sam.
Good job. Take that from me. The next thing we had decided to tackle was the feeding intervention that I adapted directly from my field work over the course of the semester. This was starting off distally, working up, maybe beginning by writing the name and just touching the food, and then smelling it, and then kissing it, and then working your way into the mouth, and then maybe once we can get it into their mouth, get them to swallow it. So obviously, for realistic purposes, we did not demonstrate all of these here because it's not likely that a person or a child is going to be able to put the food in their mouth off the first one. So we showed early in their intervention where they're just touching it, maybe they're rubbing their arm with it, maybe they're smelling it, but they're certainly not getting it into their mouth or around their mouth. So this would be something that has increased over time. We also did the same thing with the toothbrush. The reel told us that she did not like having the sensation of a toothbrush in her mouth. So we started off with something that was similar, like the Nook brush, but that certainly was not the same thing. So that it's a little bit more tolerable, we'll start with it, we'll slowly work it up, maybe when she's kissing it, maybe when she brushes her teeth and stimulates her mouth with her Nook brush, she can slowly work her way into using a real toothbrush, which is obviously better and more accessible, but it's something that could certainly take time to get there. All right, guys, now we're going to be working on a little bit of some of your food stuff, because I know that you're a picky eater, right? So we're going to be working on some of your favorite foods and maybe working on some stuff that's some new experiences for you. Does that sound okay?
Yep.
All right, so Chase, you explained to me that that Sam really likes Doritos.
It's like all she eats.
Yeah, so we're gonna start with those, help him kind of get understandable and maybe get a little bit more comfortable with it, and then work into some things that maybe aren't as comfortable. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Sam, you want a chip?
Mm-hmm.
You can show me how to eat a chip. What's your favorite thing about those Doritos?
The taste.
You like the taste? All right, can you show me? It's good. Good. How many times do you eat those?
How many times?
Mm-hmm.
A lot.
A lot. You like them a lot?
Yes.
Okay, what about the sandwich? What do you like about the sandwich?
The jelly.
You like the jelly?
The peanut butter.
You like the jelly and peanut butter?
Mm-hmm.
How do you usually eat the jelly and peanut butter?
Lick it.
You lick it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you eat it with anything else, or you just eat it by itself?
So.
Okay.
Peel it apart.
Okay.
Lick
All
it.
right. So, what do you not like about the sandwich?
The bread.
You don't like the bread?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Can I get you? You touched it, so that's good. It's not that bad, right? Can I get you to
Yeah.
smell it? What if you just? The peanut butter's in it. What does it smell like?
Nasty.
Nasty. You don't like it at all. Would you be willing to lick it?
The
Come on,
bread?
Sam.
Yeah. The jelly and the peanut butter is in
You
it.
can do it. Oh,
What it
you're
tastes
so
like.
strong.
Nasty.
Nasty. You don't want to eat it today?
Mm-mm.
You sure? Okay, maybe we'll come back to it. Does that sound good? Okay. Now, I also know your mom told me that you have a little bit of problems eating whipped cream. Is that right? Okay, so we're going to work in a little bit. We're going to have a little bit of fun with the whipped cream today, okay? So, have you ever had it before? No, you have? You didn't like it before? Okay. What about, can you touch it? We're going to write our name in it. Do you think you could
Just
start with-
touch.
Yeah, just touch. We're not going to eat it. Not to eat it today.
Good job.
What do you think?
Here, sweetie.
Feels weird.
Feels weird? You don't like it?
Mm-mm.
What if we wrote your name in it? Do you write Sam in it? Do you know how to spell Sam?
S.
Mm-hmm.
I.
Yep.
M.
Good. Good job.
Yucky.
You did such a good job, though.
Good job.
Would you be willing to smell it? Can we try it? What if I smell it? I don't know, Sam. It smells pretty good. I think you should try it. Chase, do you like whipped cream? Would you try
I
it?
love whipped cream. I would try it.
What you think?
Mm-mm.
You don't want to eat it today? Okay, that's okay. So the next thing we're going to work on is, so do you know what this is?
Toothbrush.
It looks kind of like a toothbrush, don't it? So this one's a special toothbrush. It's going to be a little bit easier than before, okay? So I know that you don't like the way the toothbrush is when it's in your mouth. Is that correct? Yeah, sometimes it hurts my gums too. Okay, so we're going to start. Can I have your hand? I'm going to just rub it on your hand. Can you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you ready? Here we go. Is it okay?
Mm-hmm.
Can you do it? Don't worry, Mom, you get your turn. There you go. Okay.
Good job.
What
Sam.
if we rubbed it on our arm? You think we could work it up like that? You think that would be okay? Can I do it?
Mhm.
Okay. Is it okay?
It tickles.
It tickles a little bit, doesn't it? Can you try?
Mhm.
There you go. Good. Okay. What if we just kiss the toothbrush? Could you do that? You don't want to do it today?
Let me try.
Yeah, if you want to try. I think you can do it. Oh, you don't want to do it?
As close as I can get.
As close as you get? Okay.
Good
Okay, well,
job.
maybe next week we do a little bit more, okay? Now, Mom, so this is obviously not a regular toothbrush, it's a Nook, and sometimes we'll start with these. I know that Sam really doesn't like the toothbrush, and we've talked about that. So we're gonna actually start with this, and
Can they brush their teeth with that?
they can also brush their teeth with it, but we're gonna start working on away from their mouth and kind of
Okay.
work up, and then eventually maybe we can get them to get Sam to kiss it, and then maybe touch his tongue to it, and then maybe actually brush his teeth.
Okay.
So we'll go from there, and then as he gets more used to brushing his arm and his hand, we can go to a actual toothbrush and hopefully work her way to there.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to continue to work on this. You can work on this with Sam just when you guys brush your teeth at night, when she gets out of the bath, and we'll just work from there.
Okay. That sounds good.
Great.
While we were not able to address all aspects of Sam's intervention here, we decided to tackle the things that we thought were most important, including being able to undress for the toilet We know that she was able to take off her underwear, take off her clothes, according to the case that was given and the reel that was given to us. But we also know that she was having a really hard time being able to take them off fast enough and understanding what it meant when she was wet and when she had to actually use the restroom. For that, we decided to do this activity of dressing up like her favorite superhero, being able to take off those clothes and connecting, being able to undress and having to use the bathroom at the same time. This was something that I personally had interpreted from a activity that we played on my fieldwork to more accurately address toileting rather than other things that we were working on with that student. So that was definitely what we decided here. We also decided to address the washing of hands. She was able to wash her hands, she was able to wash her face, but she did not like to use, she didn't want to do it thoroughly. So in that case, we decided to play the song, hopefully increase intrinsic motivation and help her more thoroughly do the job instead of just rushing through it. The case, in particular the reel, had decided that she was moving really fast, that she wanted to go through it. She wasn't able to stand still and do these activities at the same time. So the song hopefully kept her distracted enough on what's going on around her to be able to focus on washing her hands, focus on the song, and be able to complete the task more thoroughly. All right, Chase, so now that Sam is playing and having fun, I want to talk to you about a few things.
Okay.
So based off what we've seen today and with some of the picky eating and some of the teeth brushing thing, it looks like Sam may have a little bit of a problem with certain sensory stuff. She doesn't like certain textures. So what this is here is the child sensory profile. It's just another assessment tool that we use without me having to do it all and take up extra of our time here. This is going to be a form that I sent home too. You can bring it back to me next week.
Okay.
You'll just go through, and each of these questions you'll just mention whether he always does it, frequently does it, half the time, occasionally. You just go through, and then you don't have to do, if you just fill it out, I'll handle it from there. And basically what this is going to give us is just a good idea of what Sam has the most difficulty with and what she is okay with, and how I can work with her on the things that give her the most difficulty and the things we have the most problems with. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of her picky eating is due to that, as well as the teeth brushing thing. So some of the oral motor stuff in here may have some severe deficits that we can work on and go from there, okay? A lot of the stuff that we've seen us do today, we can do at home. So especially some of the eating stuff, I know we typically don't like to play with our food, and we try to teach our kids not to play with our food, but sometimes that's the best way for them to learn and get exposed to it and just get a little bit more used and comfortable to the food. We know that she has a little bit of problem with vegetables and some of the like chicken and stuff, so we can start off with fresh vegetables and work our way to some more canned stuff, work our way to maybe more steamed stuff, and that'll help bring in some of those textures. Next week I want you to bring in some of those things. I know this week we did.
Does she likes or doesn't like?
Bring in things that she sort of doesn't like, but then maybe we'll kind of like, she can sit at the table with them, but that won't eat, and we'll go from there and we'll work our way to the more things that she won't tolerate at all. Okay. So particularly like bring any kind of vegetable that she sort of kind of will be around but not eat. Preferably, usually fresh vegetables are easier, and as they get more into the canned food stuff is when things get a little bit more tricky, usually because the textures are different, they're mushier, they're kind of softer and stuff like that. So as well as boiled chicken typically can be really hard, so let's maybe start off with like hot dogs or something that she will eat, maybe even peanut butter as a protein. We can start there if we need to and work our way up. So it would also be super helpful for me if you brought in maybe a list of things that she eats and she doesn't eat, just that you know of.
It would be a short list of things she does like.
Well, and that's okay too. We can, and we'll work on that, okay? But basically what you've seen us do today is what we're going to be working on as far as food goes, is if I can get her to play with it, maybe touch it, maybe smell it, maybe lick it, and then we'll go from there, okay? Maybe I can, and it may come to where I'm just getting them to put it in their mouth, and maybe they spit it out. But then hopefully we'll eventually be able to help her swallow, and we'll go from there, okay? So fill this out for me if you don't mind. I also know, as we've seen with her washing her hands, she likes to move a lot. Some of this will address that as well, and maybe we can find good techniques for her to kind of entertain herself while she's sitting at school or at home or at church, wherever you guys go, so that she can maybe be a little bit less fidgety, which is fine. Okay. Do you have any questions about any of these things?
No, I don't.
Cool. Well, I'm going to give you this, and if you'll just bring it back to me next week with that
Okay.
list of things, we'll go from there. Okay?
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, so the next thing I want to talk to you guys about before you guys get to leave today is Sam is about the age where potty training is going to become kind of typical. I know we've seen her today. She knows how to take her underwear and her pants down. She can do those things pretty well, but you did mention that she doesn't really know to tell you when she has to use the bathroom.
Yeah, she always wets her pants, and she never tells me that she's wet or anything. She's just always distracted on what she's doing, and going to the potty, it just takes too much of her time, and she just doesn't want to miss out on the things she's doing.
Yeah. Well, there are certainly things we can do to work on that, and something that you may be able to help with as well. Whenever her hands, when she's in the bathtub, when she's washing her hands, maybe when she's washing her face or anything like that, help her understand that sensation is being wet, so that she knows what wet means when she uses the bathroom on herself, or when she goes number 2 as well. I'm gonna kind of help her put a thought and a sensation to what those things actually mean. And it's okay. She's certainly not late on potty training, but it is getting to that stage where she's getting old enough where she may start wanting to be potty trained because she's seeing her friends or maybe her cousins or brothers or whatever. So with that being said, there are certain things we can do to kind of help with that. So if you kind of see those things come and you see her kind of talking about wanting to use the potty instead of her diapers and stuff, work with her on, when you have a weekend, work with her on taking those pants off, getting her back on, doing the activities we've seen today will really help her, because she seems to be able to do the process. She just doesn't know when to apply it and doesn't know how to do it quick enough.
She doesn't seem to care.
Yeah. Well, that will come in time. Some kids just would be like, yep, I want to be potty trained, and it can go like that. And then sometimes we have to kind of give those the cues of what we were talking about. I'm trying to learn what it means to be wet, what it means to use the bathroom, and try to set up a schedule. Notice when she is using the bathroom, and like a good 2 weeks before you want to try, and see what her normal schedule is. And if she goes to daycare, if she goes to like if you have a babysitter or anything like that, like ask them to keep track of some of the times if they can. And around that time, ask her, hey, Sam, do you need to go use the bathroom? And try to give her that key reminder, and then eventually she'll pick up on it and kind of go from there as well. Those are just some cues to kind of prepare for potty training. There may be certainly things we need to work on later, but for right now, those can be good tips to kind of help her understand what it means to use the bathroom, understand what it means to be wet, and kind of remind her, okay, typically at this time of the day I use the bathroom, maybe I should go again. Okay. Do you have any questions about that?
Yeah, so when I take her home, she's in a pull-up right now, so should I just check if she's wet every 30 minutes and then take her to the bathroom and try and get that time? Then how, if she doesn't tell me she's wet, then how am I going to know when to take her to the bathroom and create that schedule?
Yeah, so it's a great question. And the first thing is it's gonna start with you teaching her what it means to be wet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So let's start there. And when she finally gets this understanding of, hey, when I use the bathroom, I'm wet, and maybe she'll start telling you, maybe you can start asking her and giving her those cues for her to tell you, even if she's not telling you without any cues, maybe you can give her some hints to tell you. And then from there, we'll go into getting the schedule, going to teaching her how to take her clothes off and pull them back up, and then using the bathroom. Okay, does that sound good?
Yep.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you guys next week.
Awesome. Thank you.
The last thing we addressed was parent education. So Sam is getting to the age where she is about to start potty training potentially. Just like we learned in class, this is not something that should be forced. When Sam is ready, the parents can move along with it. But it is always good to take this opportunity to educate the parent on potty training, the preparation for potty training, and what steps can be taken, such as scheduling, such as helping her understand what it means to be wet, what it means to use the bathroom, using the bathroom on the toilet instead of just in her diapers, and getting that kind of rolling and getting a good idea of to make potty training hopefully a smoother plan rather than just hoping that it works and hoping the child just takes it and runs with it. We also discussed the child sensory profile, which is something that we discussed in our summary that most certainly needs to be done. The reel indicated that Sam may have some sensory hypersensitivities to textures in the oral.
area, and then have a lot of hyposensitivities and movement due to her not being able to sit still very long. So there are certainly things that could be addressed there, but we would have to wait for the parent to bring back the child profile before we were able to go any further with that.